Hey gang, I said I was going to show you how to make a puppet. Here's my how-to video. The puppet we're working towards will be this guy over here. Say hi. Hello. Before we begin, let's go through the checklist. You're going to need a sewing machine. You can always sew by hand. It's a lot more work, but you can do it. You can do it. We're going to need some ping pong balls, a pair of scissors, and some materials for the body. We're going to need some red material, a little bit of pink, and a little bit of black. Then we'll need a couple meters of material, in my case felt. So to give you an idea, I have about this much material. Also, yes, a hot glue gun, a piece of foam. So you're also going to need some batting. That's all the material we're going to need to start off with. Now we're going to need a pattern. So I've drawn up my pattern right here. Now you can use your own pattern or click the link down below and get your 4 pieces of this pattern. You'll have to place the patterns in the proper order, tape them up. Your pattern should look like this. And then cut it out. So when you're done cutting them, you should have this circle piece, which will be used for the mouth, the arm, and the body. Next, now we're going to need our material. You're going to need four pieces of the arm and hand, two pieces of the body and head. Alright, so when we're done, you should end up with 4 pieces of arms and hands. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2 pieces for the body. Make sure you don't cut out that circle. Remember, that was just for the mouthpiece. Well, now we're going to move on to the sewing. Alright, so we're going to start off with the head and body. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to sew this top triangle. This top triangle. Alright, so it should end up like that. Now, this is important. Trust me, I learned it the hard way. Before you sew the other head, let's match them up so that we have the mouthpieces together. Now, remembering that the sewn part is always going to be in the inside of the puppet. So it's going to be important that we match up the head, and then you're going to sew it in the inside. Imagine this is all sewn together. You're going to be sewing inside. So then I know that my triangle is going to be like this. I'm going to fold it towards the inside and sew that top part. Now that we've sewn the top triangle parts, let's make sure that we didn't sew them backwards. So again, putting the 2 seams together, the seams inside the head, you should still be matching your puppet like so. The next part, we are going to reverse these puppets. Let's put the seams on the outside. Put the seams on the outside. Now for this part, we are going to sew from the bottom of the mouth all the way to this side. And for the other part, we're going to sew the top of the mouth all the way to the bottom. We're not sewing the bottom, and we're not sewing this part here. Okay, so when we're done, it should look like this. So now we're going to move on to sewing the hands. Lay them down on the table, match up 2 pairs. Okay, and then you can go ahead and sew it. Keep it in mind, do not sew the bottom part. Alright, so now we've sewn all 4 pieces together to make 2 sets of arms and hands. Now for the next part, I like to use a wooden spoon. We're going to reverse the hands. Okay, so now we've reversed the hands and arms and the body. Alright, Now to attach the body, well, to attach the arms to the body. So I sort of line it up like this. I'm just going to hold it there, and I'm just going to put a little mark with a pencil, making sure I don't cut too much. Give it a little snip, and then cut out that little section right there. It's going to be so that the actual arm is going to fit through there. For the other side, I'm going to use the hole to actually just draw a line on the other side. Reverse the puppet, find your line, and cut it. Okay, now that we have our hole going through the body like this, we have our seams on the outside, so the puppet's inside out, and we have our arm. We're going to start with one of them, which is right side in. Okay, making sure the thumb is facing the same way as the opening of the mouth. Let's insert this in here, and I'm going to pull out part of the arm, 3/4 of an inch. Taking my time, I'm going to sew the arm around the hole like so. Okay, got my first one done. Double checking, make sure that the hole is still open for the arm, because we're going to need to stuff the arm after. I'm going to go ahead and do the other arm. So again, I'm making sure my thumb is in the same direction as my mouth. Alright, I think it's looking good. Okay.